Okay, so for example, on this first one, I know that it's asking about my metal's charge. So I see that my metal has a charge of 2 positive. So I'm going to say 2 positive. And then it's asking me for my non-metal's charge. I know that my non-metal has a charge of negative, and that always means -1 when there's nothing else next to that sign. So now I have to write the formula, which is like the hardest part. So if I know that my metal has a +2 charge and I have to balance that out with my negative charges, and I only have one of them, I'm going to need 2 negative charges to balance out this 2 positive charge. So that formula is going to end up being Cu, and I'm going to need 2 fluorine atoms to balance that out. The name of this is going to be copper. I know that this is copper because Cu right here, if you look at, let me hide that. If you look at the periodic table, copper Cu is right here, copper. So because copper is a transition metal, I know it is a transition metal because it is in the blank space of this picture down here. So anything that's blank is a transition metal. I am going to have to put these little parentheses to suggest that I am talking about transition metal. And the parentheses, the Roman numbers, are going to describe the charge of the metal. So the charge of the metal is 2. So I'm going to say Roman numeral 2. And the naming convention for non-metal to metal is fluoride. And you're going to end in IDE. The sum of the charges, well, if I have +2 here and I have -1, but I have 2 negative ones, that's +2 and -2, the sum of the charges is going to be 0. Moving on to sodium. If I have sodium right here, sodium is in group 1, I can look that in group 1, all of my charges are +1. So my sodium is a +1 charge because I use this picture. My non-metal charge, I can see that I is right here in the periodic table. It's in group 7A. If I look at this picture, my charge for these nonmetals in group 7A is -1. So my charge for iodide, is going to be -1. The formula, the hardest part, I see that +1 and -1 are the same charge, so I only need one of each to cancel them both out. So I know that my sum of the charges, because I have one of each, and each one is +1, -1, +1 and -1 make 0. The name, this sodium, Na, that's in group 1, is not a transition metal, so I do not need to put it in parentheses. This is just going to be sodium iodide, ending in IDE. And that's it for this do first. So do the rest.